Hi, just getting back to finishing the epic scale card buildings that I put together in the previous video, and these little bits of kit bashing that I've done to act as something to add a bit of sci-fi flavour to the buildings. So each of them have this little topper to go onto them, and in this video I'm going to get them all finished, starting off with painting each of these little assemblies. Limited paint palette, just something to match in with the original card buildings so it doesn't look too different colour palette wise. And then a little bit of weathering, but again nothing extravagant at all. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. This is background scenery or terrain pieces, so I don't want to turn it into a big project. I am going to base them. The buildings, once they've got a bit more weight on top of them, are going to get slightly more unstable. So a bit of plastic styrene card and draw around the base, a bit of PVA, white glue and some sand, so I can paint that separately and then glue everything together. So that's the plan for what I'm going to do. So the first thing I've got here is some of the odourless thinner for enamels, and I'm going to use the AK neutral grey wash for this. This is just to establish some edges, some details, and I'm really not going to worry too much about how it looks. I'm just getting the panel liner effect, some general weathering. As you can see there already, it starts to show up little details and things. So it's going to be a pretty rough application of this on all the models. The order that I'm doing this in, I'm not even sure it's necessarily the right order, because I'm going to be applying some of the paints after this to pick out some different colours. But just to get started, the primer is the Tamiya light grey, and that's it's pretty good for using that as a start for washes and things like that, because it tends to form quite a glossy finish. That means these washes do retract away from the flat surfaces and gather in the details really well, just varying the concentration of the application of this stuff. Try and get most of the surfaces, just let it run down and gather wherever it wants. It's not a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and get them all done like this initially. I think one of my favourite Citadel metallic paints, the Screaming Bell, goes on really well. So nice to pick out a few items. And I'll probably use some lead belcher as well, just to get some other metallics. There's no real plan for any of these different elements. I'm just going to pick up a piece and then paint something with each pot of paint that I open. Not too fussed about the finish. If it's rough, it doesn't really matter. Should all kind of play into the weathering, really. On the bigger piece, I'm not going to get too involved in picking out all the various details on there. I don't want it to take up a lot of time, so I'm just going to do some metal on the pipes and then that'll do it. Just rely on washes and other weathering to make it look a bit more interesting than it is. There's a number of different greys on these buildings, so it's nice to try and just add in a few greys to the bits that I've stuck on. Nothing too eye-catching, just the odd bit here and there. As I say, I'm not wanting to spend more than maybe one day or one session painting on getting all these done. So try and budget. I think that's what can make terrain building and painting a bit intimidating, because they're often large models with often as much detail as some of the miniatures have, and you're just not going to have the time to lavish on that. So that's why it's going to be good to get into using washes and enamels or oils. All these products are good just for helping completing jobs like this a bit quicker. And yeah, it's just going to be one coat for all these paints. I'm not going to double up any coats. If it's patchy, that's fine. Just trying to elevate it beyond one colour, one grey. Nice to have a few different colours to break it all up. But there's some nice effects on those surfaces already, so I don't necessarily want to cover all that up. Got a good base to work from. And then also some whiter areas. It's actually a lot of fun just painting in this kind of freestyle, not too worried about things, especially after spending so much time painting more detailed things, characters and troops for Warhammer or whatever, where each figure needs care and attention. It's quite nice just to not really be fussed. Just slap the paint on. And again, I don't have to have every different colour on every piece. I can mix it up. And then some of the watered down Nihilak oxide onto these coppery parts. And it can stand to be watered down quite a lot. Okay, I think some sand and desert camouflage panel liner now. There's enough visual interest on there in terms of a few different colours, so that's going to be enough. So I think a little bit of the enamels and then plenty of the thinner, and that will just give me a little bit of variation on the surface, make it look a bit more interesting, maybe disguise some of the simple paintwork, make it look a bit more than it actually is. And I've already gone over them once with a different wash, so I don't need to go over all of it. I'm just going to do some here and there. Don't mind it pooling in different places. Maybe just making sure to hit the areas where I have added some paint to help grunge them up a bit. Just let it find its own place to settle. Always a really fun stage doing this. And then I thought I would just add a bit of a metal dry brush to finish off these pieces. Not everywhere, just here and there. Always just helps selling things as being metallic. But essentially that does it now for the painting. I just need to get them stuck onto the buildings. See, that works quite nice there on the weathered pipe. It's amazing how convincing a result you can end up with. Just be wary of breaking anything now. Yeah, the aim now is to stick these parts onto the tops of the buildings. Again, some really nice effects happening on the surfaces there, having done those enamel washes. Hard to recreate that in any other way. So I think I'm going to use some white glue for this. Not sure if white glue is the best method. The reason being, I don't want to destroy the card by getting it too wet with glue. So this is going to be the experiment. Hopefully it'll hold its shape and take a hold of the plastic parts. So this could be the problem, getting it to stay in place while the glue dries. It looks like it could work though. You just need to apply some pressure till it's starting to hold. Yeah, in terms of the basing, what I've been doing is just setting up a piece of styrene and creating a little base to glue down the buildings to. I'm keeping them separate because I want to be able to get primer on these, which will help hold the sand in place. But this is going to allow me to get the overall look to match in with that red planet, ash wastes kind of theme. And then I can allow just a bit of a border around the footprint of the building. And most of all, it just stops them toppling over, because they've all gotten a bit top heavy now. And then just round off the corners also, just make it look a bit nicer. And then just a case of adding the glue around your line. Because I don't want any of the sand or small stones under the building. And then just get the sand on. A few of the smaller stones will look okay, as long as nothing's too out of scale. So that's them all primed now, just using some Zandri dust, and then I think I'll go over them quickly with a Vagrax Earthshade mixed with water just to make it go a bit further. And then just a bit of dry brushing now to finish off the painting. Okay, now time to get the buildings glued down. So back to the white glue. Hopefully they'll just fit into the space. Yeah, that's going to help them keep upright. In the last step now, I'm just going to come in with some weathering powders. Don't mind if they go up onto the card buildings, that's okay. This will just give it the red ash wastes, red planet look that I'm going for. As always, I've got a few different powders to use, so just mix them around for the variation. Yeah, something like that will work. And it'll likely need a spray with varnish, just a light spray to try and make some of these powders stay in place. So that's all the buildings complete now. And well, as you can see, I've set them up along with the Adeptus Titanicus miniatures painted in one of the previous videos. The futuristic city backdrop that I also painted in one of the previous videos. And hopefully you can see that together they form quite a nice tabletop gaming environment with that hopefully futuristic looking city aesthetic. Maybe not the traditional 40k aesthetic for the buildings, you know, no high gothic tones, no flying buttresses, none of the gargoyles and things carved out of stone, but instead this more brutalist architecture. So with all these together, you can find nice little views through the buildings, and with the backdrop it helps pull it together. And that's probably as far as I would take these. I'm not sure they need to be anything more than that. They are just terrain pieces, and probably spent enough time on them as it is already. For those who missed it in the first video, the source for the card buildings are from a range of books by Zupagrafika, where you get these various card buildings that you can cut out and fold and glue together based on real world examples of brutalist architecture covering various areas around the world. So there's certainly plenty of potential here to grow this kind of tabletop look if you want to create a much larger cityscape. Hopefully over the last few videos there's been something of interest for you. Potentially add another video on how to create some damaged buildings, some destroyed buildings, some ideas I've got for that. I'll see how it goes. But in any case, thanks very much for watching the video.